Okay, this one's a little spicy. It says all the Ant-Man movies are trash and none of them needed to be made. Oh man, that's kind of brutal. I kind of, I don't know if I would call them trash. But I do agree. I don't think they needed to be made. I really don't know if we needed three Ant-Man movies. I'm kind of shocked. I know that the MCU standard is that every character gets three movies, unless it's a female. Guys, welcome to the Tone Show. I crawled through Reddit, Twitter. Blue Sky didn't have any, but basically anywhere on the internet, and I gathered for your entertainment the spiciest of MCU hot takes. That's right. These takes are either going to upset you or you might agree with them. But I'm going to give you my reaction and my honest opinion on them. But yeah, I don't think we needed three Ant-Man movies. Honestly, I don't even think we needed one Ant-Man movie. And after the second one was like, and all of them kind of meh, they're kind of mid as the kids say. So I'm really shocked that we got three of them. And even though Ant-Man's storyline in Endgame was very important, I think we could have gotten that without those movies. So I kind of agree. I wouldn't call them trash because, you know, people ate on those. There was work. But I would say I don't think we needed three Ant-Man movies. I kind of agree with that one. Okay, what else we got? Okay, Doctor Strange 2 is better than the first one. That's completely true. That's completely true. I agree with that. The first Doctor Strange movie was kind of boring. You know what? Maybe slow. I'll call it slow. I don't know if I'll call it boring. Boring is kind of spicy, but you know what? The first Doctor Strange movie and the first Captain America movie, like they were origin movies. They needed to be told. Like I understand that. And the first one was kind of like the Captain America movie anyway. It was kind of like a period piece. I think we needed them to develop the character and get to where we are, that we really enjoy these characters. But yeah, they were kind of slow. I think they could have been done better. If anything, Captain America 2 like really stuck it. Like it was a much better sequel than the original. So yeah, I kind of agree with that. The second Doctor Strange movie brought the heat. And I really think that Sam Raimi's inclusion in this, like his direction, he did stuff that Marvel wouldn't do and stuff that I found that was kind of edgy, like the whole Walking Dead corpse. Like that's something that they never would have done. And the whole like horror aspects and characteristics of the movie, like that was Sam Raimi. And I think that was really interesting to take it there. And the visuals were interesting. I actually enjoyed Doctor Strange too. I think it's much better than it's probably one of my favorite MCU movies, period. So I definitely beats the first one, yeah. Okay, we got another spicy one right here. Thor: The Dark World is pure weak sauce. I kind of agree with that. I gotta say, the second Thor movie was very weak. Honestly, like we just said, all the first movies were kind of okay, besides I think Iron Man. So, but the second one was really bad. I don't know what they were doing with that one. But the third one with Taika Waititi and his humor, how he brought it back and like he really pivoted, that was awesome. So, like, yeah, I would say the first one's here, the second one is here, and Taika Waititi's third one is like here. It's probably like the best one. But the last Taika Waititi movie, that was there with Thor: The Dark World, baby, right? So yeah, I kind of agree. The second one is weak sauce. Blade 2 is better than most MCU sequels. Yo, I gotta agree with that one. Gotta agree with that one. Guillermo del Toro's Blade 2 and the introduction of those new vampires, their mouth opens like this, kind of like the Predator, that was awesome. In general, Blade 2 is it's a better movie, I think, than Blade 3. I have a sweet spot for the first Blade movie because it did things that basically there was no MCU at the time, and it did things that it set up precedent for comic movies, especially a horror comic movie. So I enjoy the first Blade movie, give it the props. But yeah, Blade 2 was definitely a step up, and it's much better than most MCU sequels. I would put it up there. And it's kind of interesting that we just talked about Doctor Strange 2 and Blade 2, both of which have horror elements. And I would say up there with Civil War, probably the best 2 or 3 MCU sequels out there. Put it in the comments, like, do you think besides Blade 2, Doctor Strange 2, and Civil War, like, which one is your favorite MCU sequel? Put it in the comments for us. Here's another one. All the Spider-Man movies are weak sauce, but the last one. Yo, the last Spider-Man is pretty solid, but you gotta admit that if without the first Spider-Man, by Homecoming and Far From Home, like we wouldn't have it wouldn't have worked up to the third movie. Like we needed those movies to get the last movie, which was awesome. So yeah, the second movie is probably my least favorite Spider-Man movie of these new MCU Spider-Man movies. I would say it's the first one, Homecoming. Far From Home is here, and No Way Home definitely my favorite. But yeah, you kind of need that second one to distinguish from the third one, because it picked up where the second one left off. But yeah, it's definitely I think my least favorite of the three. Let's see what else we got here that's spicy. Okay, look at this one. Shuri, I'm mispronouncing her name. Shuri should have never been Black Panther. That one's tough because it does follow the comics. It is canon. The Black Panther mantle, she did have it in the comics. But somebody commented in one of my videos recently, and I kind of agree. I was saying that Sam Wilson becoming Captain America is canon and supported by the comics. And someone commented and say, hey, just because it's canon doesn't mean that it's good. And you know what? That is true. That is true. So just because Shuri does become Black Panther in the comics, I didn't read that comic, so I'm not sure exactly like it was a good comic or not. But I really feel like we lost it. They should have casted another. I know it's hard because of the legacy of Black Panther now, but I think now that they introduced like the son, they're gonna age him up, and maybe he'll take over the mantle of Black Panther. I don't know if she should have never been Black Panther, but I think we also need a male Black Panther, like to like balance things out. Balance things out. I would say that. What else we got? What else we got? Let me see. The Hulk is always weak in the MCU films. It never compares to the comics. Like, what's up with the writers? It's funny because I picked this one because I just did a whole video about how the Hulk always is getting nerfed and other characters that are nerfed. I'm gonna put that at the end of this video. So if you enjoyed the discussions about characters that are weaker than their comic counterparts, or like just characters in general that were weakened on the shows, so check out the video I'm gonna put at the end of this video. But yeah, obviously I picked this question because I do agree with that, and I went into depth about that. But yeah, I really feel like the somebody said in my comments as well that the comic characters is kind of hard to compare them to the film characters, the TV show characters, because in the comics they're so powerful, and I think it's because we're really limited by special effects and budget about what you can show. Like, look at the Fantastic Four trailer. Like Galactus, yeah, he changed his size, but he's like this size in the trailer. It's kind of cute, right? You got a big Galactus be walking around instead of being bigger than a planet. But if you're limited by budget and scale of the stories you can tell on film versus comics. So yeah, he's nerfed, and as I said in my video, like it's really hard like to compare it to the comic characters. But yeah, I would agree with that. Hulk and other characters are against their comic book counterparts, they're weak in general. That is true. So if you guys enjoyed this video, hit me with a subscribe. Which one was your favorite spicy? Did you think, I don't know, maybe this could have been spicier. What do you guys think? Put it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. As always, guys, this is a Tone Show. Tone Show out.